Monday, 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 Mondays. Monday. With the money shots. ASMR. Every so often, a viewer will ask me whether I intend to continue with my ASMR Slutty Sundays series. That's a very hard question to answer because honestly, week by week, I actually never really know what I'm going to do with this YouTube channel. I've been remarkably consistent during the pandemic year in creating. But that's mostly because I'm disciplined in other ways. I'm dedicated to the art of dance. And during the pandemic, our friends started gifting me currency. So I started a new series called Money Mondays. But as for whether I have plans to continue any other ASMR content, I'd posit that Money Mondays is often ASMR enough. In the background, this time, is the pitter-patter of rain, and I think that's about as much as I can commit to ASMR for now. Basically, ASMR is whatever accidentally happens on Money Mondays. In watching Lexi Alford, aka Lexi Limitless, aka the youngest person to travel to all 193 UN countries, I've realized that this currency game I've been playing with myself actually resembles a popular geography game called GeoGuessr, except I'm playing with currency. So what I do is I open and unbox live the currency packages when I receive them. But I've been working on this package and the last two for a while. Even though some of the packages contain a list of the banknotes in the collection, I basically play a form of GeoGuessr currency by leveraging on my adventure travel to 101 UN countries. Yes, I'm behind Lexi Alford, Lexi Limitless, but that's alright. I think if anyone out there steals my game idea, I have grounds to sue. Okay, so what am I gonna call this? Currency Guesser? TM registered? Okay. So basically what I do is I basically guess. I currency guess. And I never really know what the answer is and how well I've done because I'm too lazy to go back and double check. Maybe what'll happen is I'll take one or two special installments of this series to actually fact check myself. But until I do that, people are welcome to fact check me as they please. A number of viewers have already done so, and as far as I've done my cursory research, they've been correct, so I think all fact checks that viewers have done on this playlist of Money Mondays have been correct. In any case, you know the drill. I'm a scientist and engineer, so anything you'd obviously have to double check on your own with your own thorough research. I'm just playing a game with myself. And why would you trust a random YouTuber, me, with my information? I've also done my exterior decorating again. These flowers are upcycled flowers, ones that the gardener around the area would throw away otherwise, so I rescue them and I dry them using various different techniques. Some I've already pressed between pages of heavy books. These I'm trying just a different method of slow drying out in the atmosphere. I've dried in a series of methods, the upside down hanging method and the book method. This is a new method, but it also provides some background as we play what I'll call currency guesser. If I come up with a better name, I'll update it. We are going to start with one of my favorite guesses. Which I affectionately call ex-Soviet bloc. Ex-Soviet bloc covers many, many countries actually, stretching from Eastern Europe all the way to Central Asia. I remember in a previous installment I had guessed Hungary because I missed the iconography within the white strip, but now that I observe that iconography, I have to change my answer. My answer, though, is probably still in the European side of Eastern Europe, because the Asian side is distinct and obvious. Me being Asian, it's something that I have a sixth sense for. Again, even if I've traveled a lot to 101 UN countries, I still make my fair share of mistakes because it's just really hard to remember. Obviously, some currencies are easier, as in they'll have obvious tells, like this currency, which will helpfully state that it's Pakistan. 1 rupee. I'm happy because honestly, without that other side, we have many Arab motifs. At least Arab-like motifs. And without the Pakistani designation, I would have had to take a blind guess in the dark. Part of too why these are easier to identify than maybe other notes might be is because they're all mint rare banknotes, which are pretty much off the press and into collection booklets, fairs, and other such places. For example, this would be a country that I question quite a lot. given the previous note, I'd guess Pakistani because it has a similar design motif, but where's the government of Pakistan stamp? So what I'm going to do is fish out the note that we just inserted into the transparent pouch, because I think comparing notes side by side will help me distinguish whether this is actually from Pakistan or somewhere else. Why I think Pakistan is because if I can show these side by side, I'll try my best to have both stacked in the shot, but I think I'll have to contend with showing it another way. Can I show both? Can I show both? That might be as good as I can do with the current screen setup. I'll stack it up a little bit. This moon motif is what's making me think that it resembles Pakistan, but the fact that the other sides are different makes me have to change my guess, I think. Despite the fact that they have similar designs, I think they're off enough that they are from different countries. Another confusing factor is that they might actually be from different eras. If I were to guess, I have to think, because the interesting thing is that a lot of the scripting is actually similar too. So for example, this stack will show some obvious scripting repeats. This is all essentially the same up to about here. Okay. This is also the same up to about there. Some of that's the same. So we've established that it's probably... at least the same kind of alphabet, which if you were to ask me, really is Arabic or Arabic-like. Yeah, that scripting is the same. So is it similar enough that I'd actually guess it to be Pakistan but a different era? Yeah, I'd go so far as to wager that guess. Wager with no money, or at least my own money wagered against myself. Yeah, I would probably go with that. Oh, another thing that we could do to compare is that we have serial numbers. Are they similar? We've got 2 letters, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 digits. Yes, so I really think, yes, this is probably also Pakistan, despite the fact that the government of Pakistan stamp is only on this one. This is my guess. This is also the first time that I've done such an in-depth side-by-side, mostly because the screen size is only so much, but I'm always willing to do something new, to have fun guessing. By the way, something that I noticed about the youngest traveler to visit all UN countries, Lexi Limitless, is that she is self-described as in a hurry when playing those games. So she probably could have scored higher if she took her time, but she decided to rush through some of the pictures. I think I did about as well as her, although I think she probably did better than me. This one's easy again, because the back is going to reveal in English which country we're dealing with. Central Bank of Myanmar. This note is quite different than the one I came across when I was using circulating currency in Myanmar. But that's a difficult judgment call because, as we've noticed from the previous Pakistani notes, countries really do change their bills quite a lot from era to era. What I should do is maybe even do a Canadian currency era comparison, because even that's changed quite a lot from era to era. The big change was from paper to polymer notes. Most of these, actually, almost every single one of the last 3 sets have been paper money. Okay. I think we're in Asia. I think we're in Asia, but where exactly is a question. If I were to eliminate countries, I can eliminate China, Japan, and Korea. The scripting reminds me more of Southeast Asia, but I know none of them seem to match this, so let me go through my mental Rolodex. Thailand, no. Malaysia, no. Singapore, no. Brunei, I think, would be more Arabic, so no. Cambodia looks very different script-wise. Vietnam, no. Laos, no. Myanmar, no, unless I compare. And the scripting is very different from the Myanmar. But sometimes I wonder if it could be that some countries have the equivalent of cursive, which could make even the same language look very different. Let's try this side-by-side thing again. At least enough to show the scripting. I doubt it's the same scripting. So I'm trying to think of what countries they could be, though. We have this oxen. Huh. What else? We've got other countries in Asia that I've yet to travel to that they could be. In the Mongolia, Nepal, Bhutan area. But I think it'd be limited to those areas, because any further into Central Asia, and we're getting more into Arabic influences, so this seems fairly reminiscent of Southeast Asia. Okay, well, that's about as much as I can guess. I'll probably be eventually curious enough to fact check myself. I've just been quite split amongst many different projects. Since my last vlog was cut short on battery life, I think this vlog is going to be longer to make up for it. This country is the same as the previous country, so my same guess stands. Again, I'm guessing without the help of the Googles, so even if I'm guessing these Asian countries, I'm doing it based off of my memory of which countries there are. Yes. So, another two countries that were in Southeast Asia, Philippines and Indonesia, have different scripting. Wait a second. I eliminated Cambodia at first, but something's a little bit curious because RIEL. Now, it's quite possible that it actually is Cambodia because of the RIEL. But that would make it completely different than all other that I've come across of Cambodia. Part of the problem is that as much as I somewhat recognize characters, a lot of the Southeast Asian characters actually do run together for me. I can read Chinese to an elementary level. I can recognize Japanese and Korean without being able to read them. All of the other Southeast Asian languages and other Asian languages, I have to do it based on a lot of context. This one, I am basically guessing Cambodia, and therefore guessing the previous bill as Cambodia because of the RIEL. And Cambodia's currency is called the riel, so that's why I'm guessing that. But, that's a tough one. That means the designs from different denominations, different eras. It's really enough to throw you off. Okay. This one's easy because the country is stamped right on the front there. We are still in Southeast Asia, Vietnam. Am I speaking too soon? Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm probably going to vlog for as long as the camera's gonna hold up because it is really tearing through right now. The battery. I think I'll have enough for my normal 30 minutes, but I might only have very little in excess time. Which means I have to really learn how to manage my battery life better. Yes, can you imagine that I'm an adventure traveler? That's part of the thing. When you're a little rusty, you maybe lose some of the skills that you're very second nature to when you're on the road. Yes. Are we going to joke about how Chinese words, Asian words are hilarious in English, like the fact that Vietnam's currency is called the dong? The dong. Okay, so I guess if I had some previous Southeast Asian notes that I guessed, I can further eliminate Nepal because Nepal's lettering looks like this, which is much more straight edge across the top than some of the other currencies have been in Asia. In Nepal, I'd always want to wager a guess that any mountain is Mount Everest. But Nepal is famous for many of the Himalayan peaks. This one I'll still guess is Everest. But would they also put it on the other side as Everest? Okay, well, I'm guessing Everest is on at least one of the sides. Everest is the tallest summit on Earth, and was actually my first out there solo travel adventure that failed. As in, when I started really solo adventure traveling in 2016, I thought that Everest Base Camp would be my first attempt at something so adventurous, but then I ended up swapping out, and the rest is history. To this day, though, I often wonder whether I am the type of person who suffers from altitude sickness. Part of the problem is altitude sickness is hard to predict. Otherwise, healthy people can suffer from that. And numerous, including nausea and breath problems. I forgot why I know, or why I think this is Mongolia, but then that means that I'm also eliminating any of the previous others that I thought might have been Mongolia. I think it's both the man and the horses. But why do I know this? Or is it? Huh. I'm gonna have to double check this because otherwise this also has ex-Soviet bloc motifs. Who knows why and how this is all interacting here. The world is all over the place. Somehow, I think this is Mongolia. But if my previous knowledge is based on a mistake, then this is also based on a mistake. I'm wondering why it has some ex-Soviet bloc motifs. That's very confusing. What the fuck? Ah. As I continue to play, my curiousness grows and grows because this is really confusing. Just to show how much variety there can be in ex-Soviet bloc motifs. Part of my cue for ex-Soviet bloc is that Soviet-style bee and sort of bank. But look at this. This bill also has Soviet-style bee and bank. But this man and this man look quite different. He's definitely Asian. He is European more looking, but he has some slight Asian mix in him. What's going on? Okay. I'm curious what my actual plus rate would be, i.e. correct rate, because some of these bills are really confusing me. I think these two cause me to question myself, because for some reason that previous bill, I have in my mind that it's from Mongolia. But why? Because there are other clues. For example, the ex-Soviet bloc B bag that would make me think otherwise. I'm just very confused. I'm overall very confused. But if I stick with the fact that the previous one is Mongolia, then I would have to guess that this is ex-Soviet bloc. Maybe on the border of the European, Asian demarcation there. Maybe he does strike me as being more European, but with some slight Asian features. That's my guess for this man here. Maybe he's a mix. He's biracial. We are back to our hungry fakes. But again, ex-Soviet bloc is the best that I can guess for this. Who knows? Who knows? I'm feeling more compelled to do an actual fact-check session or few, because now I'm just curious where these all come from. Will this be another project on my already full plate? We're getting there. I mean, to be fair to me, that iconography in the white stripe there could be very easy to miss. So that's my defense, and I'm sticking to it. Alrighty, we're getting to probably the end of the vlog. We'll do one more, because this one's easy. That means these notes are actually probably more organized by size than anything else, because we had some from this country already. Indonesia. Oh gosh. We'll do one last one. From Southeast Asia, Indonesia. So maybe what I'm gonna do in the next 2 weeks in between Monday's vlogs is just do some farting, sure, and then also basic research into some of the leads that I have, because now I'm just getting curious. I've always been curious, but honestly I've got so many projects, especially the rockumentary video editing project,